Matas Buzelis gets 1/3 place vote in Rookie of the Year, but on today's episode, we're to grade his season overall. How did the rookie stand out in his rookie season? We'll talk about it all and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Pat, Matas Buzelis, man. I was going to actually push him further down into like maybe the starter next week. But after the Rookie of the Year voting, I figured why wait? Let's go ahead and get into it. What's your overall season grade for Matas Buzelis?
You know what? He's going to be the first one I actually give it to because that's
bro. We live in post Kanye world, bro. You can't just say things like that.
He's gonna be the first one I actually give this grade to.
Wait, so you're saying you're giving him that A? Because I don't know if that's any better.
I'm gonna give him an A and A. And the reason I'm giving him an A, a miscellaneous A, we just started. We a minute 45 minutes into this, 45 seconds into the episode.
Hey, get out the way early. We can be sensible at the end of this.
It's out the way now. The reason I am doing this is because of everything that Matas went through in his rookie year, the ups and downs that he went through, the growing pains, the not being played on the court. When he finally started actually getting minutes, he started showing up and was prepared for the moment. I don't know if that goes to, if we want to say that's Billy Donovan's development and how he brought him along, or if we want to say Matas could have been this guy at the beginning of the year. Either way, I think that's more why, Matas is not in that Rookie of the Year voting high up. But when I look at what Matas did this season, the big question marks we had on him as a player coming out, which is essentially why he fell in the draft, was can't shoot the three ball and is going to struggle defensively. We watched this young man grow in his defense throughout the entire season. And the more minutes he got on the court, the better he got defensively, the better he got at one-on-one. He recorded 47 total blocks, which had him 5th ranked among rookies and leading all non-centers. He made it very difficult on his opponents to go out there and actually be able to score the basketball efficiently. And on top of that, on the offensive end, not only was he a dog getting to the bucket, but he shot 36% from the three-point line. Mm-hmm. Every single question that took Matas Buzelis from being arguably, I don't know about maybe number one with this draft, arguably the number one overall pick in the draft.
No, I don't think any lower than number 2.
To 11, we got answered throughout this season. And so because of that, I got to give the young man a round of applause. And I think he had a heck of a rookie year. I think there's definitely areas for improvement. Definitely needs to get stronger. I think the ball handling, while it was on display, you got to get that assist to turnover ratio in the right direction. It was horrible this season. And just consistency. But these are also things that from a rookie year to year 2, I would expect to improve.
Exactly. Like I think when you look at the assist to turnover ratio is a key thing there, because you do see that he does have some point forward type skill to his game, right? But he didn't have a lot of time to do that. He wasn't really used and didn't have the ball a lot. So the 1.9 assists as a starter and 1.5 turnovers as a starter, that's concerning. But I do think that that's something with more reps, more time, he's going to figure it out. I'm not too worried about that. The question I have for Matas coming into this year is how effective can he be while he's still figuring out how to be a consistent shooter? And I don't mean three-point shooter. I mean shooter, period. He's just not effective in jump shooting yet in this point of his career. Yeah. And he answered that he can be pretty damn effective without needing a jump. So that, and you expect his jump shot. You saw it already get better from where he was in summer league to where he finished the season at. He's already come a long way. You give him an off season, which we've already seen that he's working, staying at the Advocate Center. You give him another off season, and he can refine that shot a little bit more. And it's probably not going to be the final version of to year 3 or year 4, and that's fine. But you just want to see steady improvement there. what he's doing in recognition and off ball movement, what he does already when he does get opportunities to put the ball on the floor. That was one thing that I really love seeing from Matas as the season went on. He started recognizing, hey, I have the speed and length to get by this guy, or I'm going to get a foul. Like, that's just like, you're going to have to stop me one way or another. Love that. We already knew the mentality of Matas Buzelis is exactly what we wanted at this point in time from anybody on this team. He showed it early. So, yeah, he's going to be the first A that I give out as well, because, like, when the expectations for a rookie under Billy Donovan are already low. Like, let's be clear here. He dealt with that, right? Not getting consistent minutes early on, even though he played in 80 out of 82 games this season. Yeah. He wasn't getting consistent minutes. There are time periods where he was getting pulled right where it looked like he was going to start getting into a rhythm. And then the moment he went into that starting lineup, and kind of a little bit before then too, but when he got into that starting lineup and that kind of worry of, am I going to get pulled, went away, you saw Matas play a lot more of his game, a lot more free. And so I think all those things combined, and he forced Billy Donovan to play a rookie heavy minutes. We haven't seen that since Ayo Dosunmu.
Yeah, 100%. I think you have to also talk about the fact that even when he was getting limited minutes, the part that was impressive about Matas is Billy would put Matas out there for like 8 minutes in the first, 2 minutes in the second half to basically close out the game, right? And in those 8 minutes in the first, Matas was finishing with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. And be like, you did that at 8? Why did we take him out of the game? Right? Like he was so effective with his time on the court. He found ways to get to the free throw line, found ways to just get himself involved. Those are things that you can't overlook. And listen, I would love to see him get better as a 3-point shooter. I think more consistent would really just be the only thing I'm really worried about. If he shoots 36% for the rest of his career from the 3-point line, we won.
Well, I think it depends on
what was he? He was a 30% or 28% 3-point shooter in the G League. Like, that's why he fell. We won the steal of this draft, arguably. I say steal of the draft because Stephon Castle wasn't a steal. We knew what he was going to be, but we won the steal of this draft with how Matas performed in this rookie year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you look at even over the last 20 games of the season, he shot 41% from 3. Now, I'm not expecting that to hold out steady, but I mean, he's shown tremendous growth in just about every area that you wanted to see him in, and he did it all within his rookie season. And we know one thing about Matas, like I'm not saying that every player doesn't want to be great, but Matas's view on it is, I want to be great because I know I'm about to outwork everybody that you have ahead of me. And that's the thing that because anybody can just come in and say, I want to be great, right? Like, but he's willing to put in the work. He wants to be great because he knows that he's willing to do whatever it takes, and he cares about winning more than anything, right? He wants to do whatever it takes to win. And that's really good to have as a 20-year-old player on your roster as you're focused on development after you fire your development coach. But it's really good to have that in the players. So.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think he had a 25-point game this season, and we end up losing the game. And everybody's asking him, like, "Oh, your first 25-point game of the season, how do you feel? Is your new career high?" He's like, "We lost. I don't care. Like, we didn't win. I didn't do enough to help us win, so it doesn't matter." You know, like that is, and I get it, right? Everybody's gonna say that. A lot of times it is lip service, but you see it in how he approaches the game. You see it in how he goes out there. And it's just, I think the other thing too, and maybe this is right where Locked On Bulls is more focused in on it, and why he probably didn't get more rookie of the year voting here is such a stark difference from what we had with Patrick Williams that it almost makes it 3 times better what we're seeing from Matas. Like, it's such a, like, oh, are you telling me like you're actually upset that we didn't win this game? Are you telling me that you're
listen, P. Will wasn't even upset when he got benched. Like, he
was like, whatever you need, dog.
Whatever you need, man.
Which is fine, right? Look, I love the teammate guy, but there's a place for that guy. And it is a role player, which P. Will is going to be. That's not what Matas Buzelis wants to be. And even if, right, he does end up being a role player, Matas Buzelis will end up being one of the best role players in the league, because he's got the mindset of whatever we need to do to win, I'm willing to do that. And I think you saw that. Listen, there were games where Matas was worried more about facilitating than he was worried about actually scoring the basketball, right? There were games where Matas was worried more about shooting the 3 than getting to the bucket, worried more about getting to the free throw line and shooting the 3. Like, whatever it takes to win, that's the kind of mindset that you got to have in this league. And I feel like Matas has all of that.
I think we got to acknowledge that P. Will is willing to do whatever it takes to win too, because he realizes to win, he probably has to sit his ass down. Nonetheless, with that said, we're going to continue the conversation.
You realize, or do you just not have an option?
I would have benched me too. Yeah, sit your ass down.
I would have benched me too.
We're going to continue this conversation. We're the next up talk about Matas ceiling and what we see his ceiling being right now. But first, we got to get some message from Car Gurus. Wrong button. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting, but between the confusing prices and hitting fees, it can feel overwhelming. That's why I love using Car Gurus. They help you cut through the noise and show your best deals with full confidence. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more new and used cars than any other major online marketplace in the U.S. They verify dealers, provide real price analysis, and give you the tools and data you need to make the right choice without second-guessing yourself. Need a new deal you can trust? Car Gurus makes it easy to compare vehicles side by side with unbiased deal ratings. The best feature, price drop alerts, so you know exactly when the perfect car is available for your budget. Plus, the in-depth vehicle details give you peace of mind before stepping on any lot. It's no wonder similar web estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's Car Gurus, CARGURUS.com, cargurus.com. Also got to talk to you guys about Wayfair. Spring is here, and that means it's the perfect project season. Whether you're refreshing a room or tackling a full renovation, Wayfair is the best kept secret for all things home improvement. From the small update like stylish cabinet hardware to major upgrades like vanities, sinks, or outdoor lighting, Wayfair has quality products for every budget. I just upgraded my kitchen with Wayfair, and the selection was incredible. Their free and fast shipping makes it so easy, no hauling heavy items from the store. I love the way that they have top brands like GE, Moen at great prices. Shopping was seamless, and I found exactly what I needed to fit my space and style. Wayfair makes home improvement easy. Get started now at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
Gurus kicking your ass.
What?
Gurus kicking your
Gurus, yeah.
That was killing.
You know what it is? You know what it is? For some reason, every time I say guru, my brain defaults to Goru, because I played a lot of Mortal Kombat growing up. And I got to get over that hump. We'll get over it.
Car Guru is a very different brand. That's
Listen, if Goru came and dropped off a car at my house, I'm like, are you now are you going to smash it? Like, I mean, at this point, I don't care.
Yeah. That's a bad situation for you to be in. Probably won't get good insurance on that.
With that said, Pat, let's have the next conversation with Matas Buzelis, man. We know that he got 1 third place vote in Rookie of the Year voting, but what do you see his ceiling being right now? I know you mentioned in the last segment, even if he does turn into just a role player, he's going to be a high-level role player, but how do you view his ceiling right now?
Listen, Matas is at that he's at that ledge of, if he comes into next season and says essentially, hey, look, I understand what everybody else is doing, but I'm a top 11 pick by this organization. And that means that they have a ton of belief in me, and I need to get as much opportunity as I can to impact that belief. I think you could be talking about Matas Buzelis as being one of those players who's looked at as a face of the Chicago Bulls. Now, I think that it can also go the other direction depending on where the Bulls land in the draft. If you get a top 5 pick, right, if somebody else come in and get, more looks than Matas is going to get early on. If you're in Cooper Flag range, which I doubt is going to happen, but if Cooper Flag shows up, Cooper Flag getting them shots, right? Like we know stuff like that does play into the conversation, but I think Matas is in that same conversation of, listen, I'm not a slouch. I showed you in my rookie year what I can do. If I'm able to come out and give you 50% more of what I gave you in the second half of the season, they're going to be looking at me to take on the reins of being the face of this franchise as somebody from Illinois. I don't buy that from Chicago stuff. Man's from Hinsdale. But
bro, like I said before, we embrace Candace Parker. Hinsdale is closer than Naperville. I'm just saying. It's closer than Naperville is. We embrace Candace Parker as a daughter of Chicago. Come on.
Listen, it's just tough when you got Io on the team who's actually from Chicago. When you hit both of them with from Chicago, it's like, nah, bro, you gotta.
Yeah, but then it balances out the Javon Carter from Chicago,
which is terrible. Nobody can get from Chicago. Just start saying colleges. Iowa's from Illinois. But no, I really want to see, where he decides he wants to be next year as far as in the hierarchy on this team.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not expecting him in year 2 to come in and all of a sudden be like, this is my team. I'm taking 18 shots per game. Like I don't expect that. Now I will say this, for some reason, especially because we know Josh Giddey would rather have 20 assists than 20 points. It's just the way Josh Giddey plays. If Matas does take a step up, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Matas make a leap from. I know he averaged overall a little over 8 points per game this season, but as a starter, he averaged around 13. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes from that to 18 points per game next year, depending on how the offense is set up. I wouldn't be surprised with it at all. How efficient is that 18 points would be the question there.
Yeah, and I think listen, that's what I mean by it though, right? Like if you talk about him going from a 13-point per game scorer after the All-Star break, 13, 5, and 2, to you improving your rebound, maybe you get up to 8. I mean, he's 6'10". Give me 10 rebounds. Like I don't think that's too much to ask. Giddey's shorter than you, and he's giving you more rebounds. But can you give me 18, 10, and 4? Like now, I'm having a different conversation.
That's almost All-Star level numbers, though. If you get 18, 10, and 4.
What? But I mean, listen, we're talking about him as one of the top rookies in the game right now. We literally going into next season, the expectation has to raise. Like, are we simply raising to 15 and 5?
Well, I mean, I think you got to look at the makeup of the team.
More muscle and his jumping ability, he should be able to get me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to what position is he playing? Is he more small forward, power forward? Who's the center? Right? Because he's always playing with centers that get a lot of rebounds too. And then you got Coby and Giddey, they're really good rebounders at the guard position too. So I mean, I see the makeup of the team. Like either way, he's going to see a statistical leap. But I mean, there's a lot up in there because if we draft a Rasheer Fleming, are we moving Matas to the 3? Like what are we doing there? Like so.
Could be, but I think even with the style of play that they have, right, it really is kind of whoever gets the ball, push the break. And you saw it whenever Vooch was out, that was really what they wanted to go to. And then Vooch came back in and it was like, well, Vooch get the rebound and give it to somebody that can push the break, and then you catch up whenever you can.
We'll see you down there. We'll meet you there.
Yeah, we'll see you down there. Trailer 3. You know what I mean? Knock down that 3 ball when they come back to you. I think that if and I don't know if I expect Vooch to be here by the start of the season because we ain't traded him yet. Like the Bulls refuse to trade Vooch. That's the one piece where they're like, but I like you. I don't want you to leave us.
But I mean, reportedly they did allow the groundwork for an offseason trade this summer. We'll see how that works.
Hey, that's one of two things: either full on cap or you try not to get hit with that tampering charge again.
I don't know, because there still was a lot of rumors around the Warriors, and now Quentin Post has looked and said, "What Vooch?"
Right. What you know what I mean? Like, I don't. If that's where your groundwork was laid at, my boy, somebody else is. Never mind. That was about to be nuts. Hey man, but no, Matas Buzelis, I think he's going to be. I think the leap next year should be. It should feel like at least he's a fringe all-star.
Okay.
Like top rookie in the game. What do we say? There's 2 rookies better than him.
Yeah.
I think we said Stephon Castle and Khalil Ware, the 2 that we'd still have as above him. And then Matas, you a top 3 rookie. I'm expecting you to take that level of a step the next season. I don't think it's too much to ask for an 18-8 kind of year from even as a small forward.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I always leave a little bit of leeway there because it is a Billy Donovan coach team. And Billy is susceptible to wake up one day and be like, hey, Matas, you did really great at the 4. How's that small ball 5 looking for?
How's that center feeling in your life? We see you as Draymond Green.
That would be crazy.
It throws me off every time I see Draymond now in the playoffs because I'm just like, he saw everything that I saw. He's like 2 years older than me.
That's crazy.
It's insane how old and broken down Draymond looks.
Yeah.
And he's
crazy.
like 33 years
I mean, he's
old.
lived a different life. NBA life is a little bit different.
Hey, brother, it's not NBA life in the 80s. Like,
That's
Draymond,
crazy.
Draymond looked like he did nothing but go to hotels and do cocaine. Like, what are we talking?
Anyway. Anyway, do you have an ad read today?
You said what? Yeah, I got one. I'm about to do it now. Hey, man, before we get to this final topic, Haize said we got to get off of this topic. We got to talk about our friends over at Game Time, man. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game, which this first round has been absolutely phenomenal. A couple of duds, but this is one of the most exciting first rounds I've watched in a long time. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge, Paul. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Here's why I use Game Time. The all-in pricing means no surprise fees at checkout. What you see is what you pay. We use those other ticketing apps, and you're halfway through it. You're like, oh, okay, it's only going to cost me $140. You get to the end, it's like $260 because they've added in a breathing cost on that mug. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. More Locked On Bulls coming up next.
All right, Pat. As we finish all these player reviews on what's next, what's the next step for Matas Buzelis? I know we talked about the statistical output. You could see him in the leap. You could see him taking next season. But how does he get there? What does he need to refine on his game to get there?
I'll be honest with you. I think the game refinement is going to be something that is a given. We see how Matas works. I don't think he's even left the Advocates, and I think the season ended and he was in there working pretty much the next day. For me, it is about, do you have the mindset? And I understand he's young, but to say, I want this to be my team. It's set up for you to do. You're the Chicago kid, right? You are the one that the Bulls went out and drafted. Usually you want your draft picks to be the number one guys on the team. Usually you want the people that you develop to be the faces, the leaders of your team. That's a step I want to see Matas take even as a young player. Listen, and I don't think it's going to be at the same level as what Derrick Rose did, but Derrick Rose in his rookie year, he took a stand on a lot of different things. And I think Matas didn't get the same opportunity because Derrick Rose, number one overall pick, he was playing right away. There was never a situation where he wasn't going to play. But there were times where they said, okay, Ben, this is your guy that you're going to be guarding. And Derrick was like, no, that's the point guard. That's my guy. I'm taking that matchup. I want that guy. Like those moments, taking on the top duties defensively, taking on the just keeping the team on track and taking a lot of that pressure that comes with being the number one guy. That is where I want to start to see him take the biggest strides next season, because that's what the Bulls have been begging for since Jimmy left, essentially.
Yeah. When it comes to Matas, like it's just like he flashed a little bit of everything. So it is just about getting better where you can. And I'm not gonna arbitrarily say you need to be a 38% three-point, like, because I think where the special part of Matas' game is that he can do a little bit of everything. And so when you have players that truly are good at a little, they have their skill set in just about every facet of the game. Sometimes it can take longer to refine just exactly what is going to be the thing that you hang your hat on. I think he's going to get better defensively. He's going to be a more efficient shooter. He's going to do a lot of maybe better rebounding wise. He's going to get better at a lot of those things. But I think if you're looking for those huge leaps, it may come a little bit slower because he's still finding his game, still defining position. The team is still defining, how the makeup of the roster and things is going to shake out. So I think Matas just needs to continue to just refine, just get better. And he's already, like you said, hasn't left the Advocates. And yeah, he's probably showed up every day since the season ended. I'm just sure he has. Matas just needs to continue to be him. I wish he would have had a whole season with Peter Patton, but I woulda, coulda, shoulda spilled milk at this point.
Yeah, we try for logic around here. It don't always work. The one thing I would love to see him, I guess, game wise improve on, because of his body type and makeup. I need you watching that KD back to the basket turnaround J every single day of your life, because I think if you add that to your game, you're unstoppable. And
that are the Dirk fadeaway, the mid-range Dirk fadeaway, which I feel like it was
nuts though.
Bro, I feel like it was a couple of times last year where it was like, hey, that look about 80% of the way there. How you gonna keep you gonna keep working on
if
that?
you can get the Dirk fade down, the Dirk fade is nasty, bro. Dirk used to be dang near at 90 degrees, bro. And
it was because of the long arms and height and everything. It was just like, Jesus, Dirk. Like,
the Dirk fade is disgusting.
It was unblockable.
It literally is unblockable. I forget who was. Somebody was just talking about it. I think it was UD, and he was like, "Man, like, it don't matter what you do. Like, I literally could have been in Dirk's chest, and." That turnaround fade away, like you're still 5 feet away from it, trying to get a hand up.
Yeah, it was ridiculous
because of how far he's leaning back. But I feel like if you're going to improve on anything game wise, you add that to your game. You've got you can then shoot 36% from 3, and we know he's efficient around the rim. Now you've got a complete game. Yeah. And I do think that's the one thing that he doesn't really have. There's not much of a mid-range to Matas.
Yeah, he has no mid-range right now. So everything's in the 3-point line or near the rim. And so if he can add that in, especially with his quick first step and length, that just makes him that much more difficult to guard. So
yeah.
Any last thoughts, brother?
Nah, that's it, my guy. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Who's harder to block, KD or Dirk?
Dirk, yeah.
I mean, KD is freaky too.
They're both ridiculously difficult to block, but I still give it to Dirk.
That's nuts. Hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bagel.
Just follow me at CEO Haize. Thank you guys for tuning in. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Fubo TV. Basically, everywhere that you want to see us, you can see us. And this is the last day of the newsletter. Locked On pulled the plug on the newsletter. Not just us, all across the company, they're pulling the plug on the newsletters because y'all didn't show up and support enough. We kept telling y'all, I'm blaming y'all. Blaming y'all.
It wasn't you. It was the
coaches. Love you guys. Go Bulls. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Hey, bro. It's Fubo TV, brother. Fubo TV is incredibly black.